Einen wunderschönen guten Morgen, liebe Freunde der Sonne. Herzlich willkommen zu einem weiteren Let's Play Stanley. Oder die Parabel oder wie auch immer. Und ja, nachdem wir jetzt einen sehr langen Monolog unseres Sprechers gehört haben und wir versucht haben aufzuwachen, sind wir dann doch nicht aufgewacht und mal gucken, was jetzt passiert.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real, I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay, wir haben, glaube ich, ein weiteres alternatives Ende entdeckt. Dieses Mal sind wir lustigerweise wieder in der Ausgangssituation des ersten Raumes, nämlich dass es einfach geradeaus geht. Bin gerade am Überlegen, aber ich würde sagen, wir gehen dieses Mal...
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Okay, wir gehen einfach mal den richtigen Weg.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, dann gehen wir mal ins Office unseres Bosses. Steht da irgendwas? Executive Bathroom. Oh, das sieht aber auch anders aus.
Office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Ah, da drüben. Aber das sieht auch wieder anders aus. Das heißt, als wir vorhin da hätten was reinsprechen müssen, wären wir vielleicht auch woanders rausgekommen, oder? Ich frage mich, wie viele alternative Enden es hier gibt. Krass. Muss ja auch ziemlich anstrengend gewesen sein, das zu programmieren.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay. Dann schauen wir uns mal...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape! Ich möchte raus.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Dann gehen wir doch wieder zurück. Wobei, vielleicht ist das ja wieder dieser Mind-Control-Trick und ich werde gar nicht sterben am Ende, oder? Oder?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Will ich aber
At
nicht.
this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Gang ist so lang, ich möchte nicht nochmal zurückgehen. Jetzt bin ich ja mal gespannt. Bin nicht tot, oder?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh nein.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oder auch nicht. Ich lebe doch noch. Und warum hat sich die Stimme geändert zu einer Frau? War das die ganze Zeit... Stanley Parable. War die ganze Zeit ein Mann?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Okay. Sind wir in einem Raum ohne Wand? Tatsache. Wie geil ist das denn?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Office. 1, 2 und 3. Button Sounds. Hä? Okay. Button Sounds. Selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Okay. Original Music Credits. Das ist ja mal ein geiler Raum auf jeden Fall. Office Computers. Die können wir aber alle irgendwie nur ausschalten. Oh, Solitär. Employee Database. Ja, einschalten können wir sie irgendwie nicht. Flink Cabinets. Hier sind also quasi alle Sachen aufgezeichnet, die so in dem Spiel waren. Korridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in a good time. Office layout. The blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the 2 doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development through tough. The core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Keine Ahnung. Nature Paintings. Ja, die sind alle sehr, sehr hübsch. Auch das ist nur eine Wand. Okay. Stanleys Computer. Sehr wichtig. Der wichtigste Computer im Spiel, würde ich mal sagen. Ja, dann schauen wir mal, was diese anderen beiden Räume so bieten. Maintenance Room. An early version of the maintenance room. Okay. The Office. 431 bis 436. The point of the Stanley Parable HD Remix is to win. These are screenshots of the Stanley Parable HD Remix. More endings, fewer endings, more narrators, fewer narrators, more Stanley, less Stanley. Am I going crazy? Maybe it isn't the same image. Was that clock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? The point of the Stanley Parable HD Remix is to lose. Larger. If someone could just get rid of the text, maybe then I should see what the game is about. Okay. Greenlight. In September 2012, we submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight, Valve's process of approving games for Steam. The Greenlight page had only a series of cryptic photos which were still enough to win the community's approval. Ach, das waren also die einzigen Bilder, die dazu geführt haben, dass die Stanley Parable bei Steam veröffentlicht wurde. Interessant. Okay. Okay. Hä? Warzone? In early development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the ton of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Okay, schade, dass dieses Ende nicht mit eingebaut wurde. From art, subject, regarding your game in the works, dear narrator. I appreciate the preview. From Ding Dang, subject gay, are you gay? Was ist das? Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those mails. From Montgomery Jones, the lights. What do the lights in the control room do? Please, I would like to keep this personal, as a top secret, and delete it if you are not interested, and get back to me if you are interested. For detail... How do you make a... Ach komm. Ich habe eh nie Zeit, das zu lesen, weil sie einfach zu schnell weg sind. The launch. An early version of the launch. Okay. Das war wahrscheinlich der Pausenraum, in dem wir mal waren. Cargo lift. The second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. Höre ich irgendwas? Ich höre doch irgendwas. Der Apartment Timer. In the previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 50 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Ach so. Das ist auch nicht hier mit eingebaut worden. Na gut. The cargo lift. Okay. Meeting room. One option. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways. Okay. The game is now paused. Begin the game again. Resume the game. Options. Return menu. Escape menu. For a long time we had ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Aha. Okay. Spiel neu starten. Das gibt's aber nicht, oder? Vielleicht wollen die auch nur, dass wir es jetzt ausprobieren. Ich würde mir aber gerne mal den Raum hier nochmal weiter angucken, bevor wir... Sending Levers. Okay. Sending. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the sending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Ja, okay, Neustart machen wir dann also auch mal. Trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each mean to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator informing viewers that he is preparing a new version of the Stanley Parable. Die Stimme hören wir aber jetzt nicht, oder was? Ich höre zumindest nichts. Okay. Ja, da wir nichts hören, ist es ein bisschen blöd. Ich würde sagen, wir gehen weiter. Ein großes, schönes Bild. Oh, ein Exit. Monitor Room Elevator. Freedom Ending. This is the Freedom Ending as it existed in the Beta. Ach so. Gibt's wohl jetzt auch nicht mehr, oder was? Countdown Desk. One of the desks from an early version of the Countdown Ending. Aha. Freedom Ending. This was the very first incarnation of the Freedom Ending in the game's Alpha. Okay. Ich glaube, jetzt gehen wir gleich im Kreis, oder? Boss Office. Screens from the development of the Boss Office. Ich glaube, drüben waren wir schon mal. Ja, genau, da sind wir in die andere Richtung gegangen, deswegen gehen wir jetzt mal hier hoch. Underground. An early version of the underground portion of the game. Okay, da sind wir ja quasi jetzt das Escape, also den Escape-Raum gegangen, oder die Escape-Route, und deswegen dann hier gelandet.
Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing? Does that sound plausible to you?
Narration outtakes. Kevin brightening the voice of the narrator recorded dialogue for the entire game. Roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from early takes that were not used in the final game.
Now then, this elevator for sure will get him right back on track to where he was supposed to put construction. Stanley walked through the green door.
Okay.
Now look closer.
Ich glaube, jetzt können wir nur noch zum Exit gehen. Mal gucken, was da passiert. Office. Clock. Die hier aber, wie es aussieht, nicht funktioniert. Doch. Gehen wir mal... Oder Moment, waren wir hier oben schon? glaube nicht. Da unten waren wir auf jeden Fall schon. Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second in March 2012 and the third in February 2013. Okay. Also abgesehen vom ersten, Nummer 2 und Nummer 3 ist alles beides okay, aber das erste sieht komisch aus. Ich will immer springen, aber ich kann nicht springen, was merkwürdig ist. Warum darf man denn nicht springen im Spiel? Das ist sehr, sehr merkwürdig.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Okay. Das zweite Mal sterben wir also wirklich. Und jetzt? Ach, wir können jetzt... Es geht nicht weiter. Wir müssen jetzt auf Neustart gehen oder auf Spiel beenden. Dann gehen wir mal auf Neustart. Wir machen es spaßeshalber nochmal. Wieso liegen denn dieses Mal...
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Okay, das Spiel zieht mich einfach komplett in seinen Bann, ohne Scheiß. Deswegen werden wir uns das nächste Mal den ganzen Spaß weiter anschauen. In diesem Sinne, bis zum nächsten Mal, euer Paxis. Tschö, tschö. Liken, kommentieren, abonnieren, ihr wisst Bescheid.